So on today's episode, we are talking about Synthwave and its origins.
And we're going to go to Miami Beach to talk to Dreamshaw, who's a pioneer in the Synthwave genre.
Cool. What is Synthwave?
Synthwave is a modern music genre that materialized in the 2000s as a homage to the pop culture sounds of the 80s and the early 90s. Its roots have probably evolved from mid-2000s French electronic music. The conceptual vision of Synthwave includes romanticized 80s summer days spent at the arcade or the beach, with a keen interest in 80s aesthetics, particularly neon, 80s and 90s clothing, technology, the future as it looked in the 80s, and horror movies. Synthwave's sound could be described as a soundtrack to an 80s movie. Unlike other related genres, Synthwave's always original, although it sounds like something familiar.
Subgenres are constantly evolving and exist under the Synthwave banner, such as Popwave, Synth Pop, Retro Electro, Vaporwave and Dark Synth, to name but a few. These genres explore subversive and divergent themes. For example, Synth Pop takes on a lighter form, while Vaporwave could be described as a more plagiaristic style, reforming obscure music from those eras and focusing on the futility of consumerism. While Synthwave has been finding its way into films and TV shows like Stranger Things, bringing the genre to the mainstream, artists have also been following the trend. I know it could be said that I've been influenced by Synthwave in my band Clap and Thunder, but perhaps I would argue it's more I've been influenced by 80s bands that I love. But is that not what Synthwave is? Well, partly. We now have Dreamshaw, a Synthwave artist, to tell us more.
All right, Johnny, aka Dreamshaw in Miami Beach, one of my favorite places. How you doing, man?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, good. Like a lot colder than you are, I think. It's like freezing here.
Hey Johnny, how's it going?
Hey man, what's going on? Hey, first off, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're actually first guest, like
yeah,
ever,
first
right?
guest, yeah.
Yeah, from the other side of the world.
Very cool guest too.
Yeah,
Synthwave music, if you haven't heard about it before.
Yeah. So I was gonna say. So basically, Dreamshaw. I found you back in 2015 through your Thought of Choice EP. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then we've sort of, I've followed you on Instagram and we've since sort of became friends through that. So basically, could you tell us a little bit about the genre of Synthwave? Where's it come from? How did you get into it? Start from there, just for people that don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, in my definition of Synthwave, it would be it's just modern music from the past, nostalgic music that's created by people who probably weren't born from that time, or were inspired by it and started making something that related to the past, but in a modernized version. Bands like Kavinsky, if you ever heard of Miami Nights 1984, Laserhawk, just to name a few producers. And usually that's, I think, in my opinion, that's how I picked it up, usually from these guys. And it motivated me to start something that you could say relates, but in my own style.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So it's got a modern twist. Do you think the production's come a long way since then? Do you think the 80s production compared to the production now, or do you think everyone's just trying to get that 80s sound?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got a mixture of people who either want to duplicate it or they want to have something that relates to it, but in their own taste. And there's many different people that are creating different styles of it. Some people like to keep it simplistic. Some people like to keep it very complex. I mean, if I were to compare and contrast, if you ever heard of Mitch Murder, he's very into the whole creating movie soundtrack style music.
But like John Carpenter, because that's like the horror.
Yeah, it's quite similar, but if it's a little bit more for Mitch Murder, it's a little bit more lighter in the sense of the theme and the mood. And there are other producers who have that style that John Carpenter came out with during that time frame.
Yeah, there was that movie, I really like that movie, It Follows, that kind of had a big John Carpenter thing, right? Yeah. You see that one?
Yeah, that was a good movie. I watched, just a few days ago, I was watching the movie They Live with
Oh yeah,
Roddy Rod Piper and a few other guys that were in that movie. Great movie. The soundtracks really give you that reminder of nostalgia and just the sounds that.
But not your childhood. It's not your childhood, is it, Johnny?
Not my childhood. No. I wasn't even born at that time.
Yeah, because it's our childhood. We remember it with it reminds us of the era.
You're going to give it away our age, man.
No.
But that's funny, yeah, because I think I might have even found this genre through you, I think, and then sort of gone back through that and like, I mean,
you say that, but I mean, I kind of think it started with Daft Punk and stuff like that, and then in France. So
right.
So you've been into the music, but it's just evolved.
Yeah,
it's got his name now,
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
Yeah, talking of names, so how did you get the name Dream Shore?
When I started making this music, I was having a lot of different directions of how I wanted to come about it. I mean, once I developed an idea and the sound that I was looking for, the name was probably the most tough, complicated part. So it took me a while to figure it out. By the time 2015 came around, I finally had a name in mind. I took some time to take just to relax, unwind. I was at the beach, wandering around, thinking to myself, the direction of the music I want and the name for it. And out of nowhere, I just formed the name Dream Shore, and it's
very Miami.
Came to life.
Cool, man. Yeah, it's very good.
Very much. I think it it sums up that whole neon pastel Miami scene down there that still looks like it used to, right? Like that place when I go there, man. I feel that it probably looks exactly the same as it did in 1985.
It's getting better. There's a lot a lot has changed in the sense of maybe there's a lot more high towers and not as many apartments or houses right by the beach. It's usually they're starting to create more hotels or penthouses or fancy apartments right by the beach in Miami. But all in all, I mean, they still carry the excuse me, the nostalgic aesthetic behind it, the environment, the whole look to it. I mean, it's getting better. It's getting much better though. It's improving a lot, especially the neighborhoods. Compared to what it was back then, from what I've been told, to now, I mean, it's a lot safer. It's starting to get much cleaner, and a lot of people are starting to go there because they realize that a lot has changed and there's a lot to offer for enthusiasts, tourists.
I love the place, man. Like, I mean, now I've moved to London. I love London, like I was saying to you before, but I'll always go back there. It's just like the whole thing down there. I feel like it suits me very very well. And we both were there when we were younger.
Yeah. We worked in the condos on the beach. For a few months.
It
was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. All right. So some of these subgenres within synthwave, i.e., vaporwave, dark synth. How do you see them, Johnny? Do you see them as part of it, or something completely different, or?
As the music scene started to grow over time, year after year, people started to realize that there's certain sounds, certain structures, arrangements that some are, let's say, lighter than others, darker than others, and then there was actually bloggers and reviewers that started coming up with additional names for it. Like dark, as you said, dark synthwave, dreamwave. Now there's this thing called popwave, which is for you still have that synthwave vibe to it, but it's much more like, I guess you could say, a pop culture version of it, even though it's still underground. But it's, as an example, I'd say it's great because it lets people know, okay, what do they want to hear more? Like, it's just like, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It's more about the style and what intrigues the person they want to listen to. I would say I'm good with, I enjoy all of them. I don't really mind listening to more than I might listen more to dreamwave or popwave than dark synthwave, but that's my preference. But I would say, honestly, it's good to have all this variety of genres, so that way there's more listeners that could expand themselves into perhaps going from one genre into the other, and get the best of both worlds.
I think vaporwave, for example, is very different. I find it very, very different. I mean, it's a plagiarism most of the time. It's taking old records and slowing them down. You're an artist. You're writing your songs from scratch. I mean, that is totally. It's more of a DJ. I find vaporwave is more of a DJ album, really. But they're kind of like in the same bracket in
you're
some ways, but they're very different in others. So, yeah, no, I totally agree. It's and it's interesting as well. I mean, I was online the other day and I was looking at this chart. I might show it actually. I'll bring it up on the screen. There's a chart, and it's this. There's so many little subgenres like Simpson Wave. Was it Outrun?
Outrun, yeah.
So many different. I mean, they sound ridiculous, but then when you hear them, you think, oh right, okay, this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there is a few strange ones in there, perhaps. What's Simpson Wave exactly?
Honestly, I started looking that up on YouTube and Instagram, and I realized, okay, people are obviously there's a lot of people who are fans of the show The Simpsons.
Oh wow!
So I'm guessing what they started doing, I guess people thought they could add some music that relates to, I guess the aesthetics of The Simpsons and create this whole vaporwave / synth. Or it's interesting because it's a large variety of elements combined to it. It's like you got a little bit of hip hop and you have synth pop to it and all these other elements to it, which makes it interesting because I've never created any of that stuff. It wasn't my intention to do so, but I respect it. I admire it. I would say it's a great way to get people to actually understand the word synthwave, maybe just in a different, in a different way.
Yeah, I think like also along those lines, you were saying like you've worked with other people. Obviously, you've got the record label and stuff like that. Do you find that like I don't know, like artists like through the States and across the world, they've got like a I don't know, like it's an underground scene, so is everybody following the same sort of... Do people have different sort of perspectives on it? What am I trying to say?
I don't think there's any rules, I think, but I know what you're saying. I mean, this is how all the different genres happen, I think, because, you get something branching off one way and it becomes its own thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you've worked with lots of different artists from the States and worldwide, I guess. Are you currently collaborating with anyone at the moment?
Currently, I'm actually working on several songs with several producers. Just to name a few, actually, I would recommend you, when you have the time, to look them up. One of them would be Daria Donatelli. She's a Russian synth
I think
pop
I heard
singer.
a track of yours with her.
Yeah, I did a remix for hers. I mean, pretty much it was probably by far my favorite remix that I've done. And we're going to be working on an additional track later on during the following year. Same thing goes for this guy's based off of the UK Player One. I mean, if you have
I think we came across those too when we were looking through. Yeah,
because these guys are all on your record label, aren't they, Johnny?
Yeah. These guys, I took some time to get to know them. I started having conversations, see what their direction is, and they have that I guess you could say that similar mentality of what they seek into doing with their project, which is going beyond what they currently are now.
So Johnny, we're going to listen to some of your music. Your single. What's the single called, Johnny?
The single's called Another Time.
Another Time. Cool, let's check it out.
So this came out end of last year, right?
Yes. During September of 2018.
Yeah.
Actually, the two locations that we shoot when we were shooting that, we went to an arcade, and then from the arcade, which was at we try to make it look like everything was in one place, which was in Miami Beach.
Yeah, I figured that part out. I was thinking there isn't any arcade down there.
Yeah, we went to a friend of ours' studio as well to do like a little live performance with some buddies at the time that I've hung out with a lot on that video, and we took a lot of shots of being in Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Of just us hanging around, and there's this like little argument with the boy and the guy, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, and the guy thinks I'm trying to hit on her, that type of vibe. And then I guess the most complicated scene was when the guy was trying to drown me.
Yeah.
Because
is that reminiscent of an 80s film, isn't it? I think we've seen that before in it's almost like, is it Karate Kid or something? On the beach.
I don't think it was anything, but yeah, it just kind of gives you that vibe.
That vibe, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. All those guys in the video were friends of mine. down to just to participate in something that was for
Play
fun.
bad
and,
guys.
You know, everybody, you know, not everybody was the best actor. I would say, you know, the best guy was the best guy that was acting would have to be the one with the glasses, the one that was like that was threatening me.
Yeah.
In other words.
But it's cool. So you were saying that it's actually that you made this a few years ago. That it wasn't, even though that you just released it last year.
Yeah, actually during early 2015. I'm sorry, late 2014, and then I had the official video during 2015. I kept it because I felt like, you know, it wasn't. I didn't think it was time to release it yet. And even though I waited this long, I think probably was the best time to have it out.
All right, nice. Yeah, I think it sounds really good. I really like it.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
I like the way the guy picks the girl up. It's like very caveman-esque, isn't it?
I think we were trying to come up with, he's just really outraged, so he just wants to lift her up and take her out of the arcade.
Now I see you down Ocean Drive.
This is cool, this bit. I like this bit.
All right, this is the part where they got to use a flashlight, flashlight to make sure they can get every single shot, every single part of the scene correctly. This is the hard part. This right here, the guy had to use a GoPro, shove it in there, plus the light to make sure they could see me in some sort of way while drowning.
Yeah. I was wondering if you went back to like a bath, just jump in the bath, do the shots underwater in a bath or something.
Well, you got the sea right there.
Oh yeah,
you use the sea. Cool, that's cool, man. It's very dedicated.
Yeah, man. We were shooting all day. I mean, we started from 12 in the afternoon till 10 o'clock at night.
Where was the arcade that you used?
That was an arcade called Arcade Odyssey near Kendall. Those guys were cool enough. We asked for permission, and pretty much if there was anybody in the camera, like on the scene, we basically asked them to sign this so that way they didn't, you know, they give us permission to have them in the video.
Yeah.
But it was great, all in all.
Yeah, nice, man.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
It was good. Yeah.
You're currently with RetroSynth Records, which you are actually part of, aren't you, Johnny? You co-run it. Is this correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So how did that come about?
Well, during last year, I want to say July, or let's say during the summer, RetroSynth Records, the founder, he actually messaged me on Facebook. He wanted to release some music of mine. He wanted to put some music of mine into his compilation that he was working on. And over time, I realized that they were working on something that I think has a lot of potential, and I see they were not as active. And from there, I you know, throughout the months, I asked the founder, you know, hey, listen, I think you guys have a lot that you can do. That there's a lot that you guys can offer. I think maybe if I help you guys, this can grow so much better. This can grow so much better. It can grow faster. And you know, from there, I started off using Instagram, basically just being active, consistent with providing content of everyone's music.
So you control the Instagram page, Johnny?
Yeah, currently I control Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And SoundCloud, but I'm not as active there. But yeah, so during that time frame, I started using just Instagram for a couple of months, and I told him, you know, hey, would you mind letting me use YouTube, because I see you're not as active, because he started he wasn't uploading as much content during certain days of the week. There was one week where he didn't upload anything, so I just told him, listen, you know, I think
Gotta be on it.
I offered him my help.
Yeah.
And from there, he gave me the key to run the majority of the label. And ever since then, I've just been nonstop working with whatever I had my hands on, and just started being consistent and doing the best I can to.
I think that's the thing people don't realise. Like not half of doing music and being successful is promoting yourself and getting yourself out there. You can sit in your bedroom and write music, but no one's ever going to hear it unless you get it out
right.
there.
Exactly. And the way I see it, 10% is your music, and 90% comes down to marketing. I mean, here's the thing. Honestly, in my opinion, everybody could do it. The problem is not everybody's willing to do it.
Yeah.
So it's something that you would have to think about. Is it going to, the outcome that you're expecting over, the amount of effort that you put into it. So pretty much I tell people, like, it's really just, it all comes down to who, what you can find, the sources that promote this type of music. I mean, there's plenty of channels out there besides us that promotes this music. It's just, I think, in my opinion, a lot of these guys, it's just usually just one person running like a YouTube channel or, let's say, a website. And I think the problem is that there's not a lot of trust. There's not enough trust with most people. And RetroSynth came through, and the guy, I actually met the guy in Rhode Island when we were at the Neon Retro Fest, and he trusted me into help running this label to a higher level where we can grow over time and help those who we believe have the same exact motivation and perhaps the same amount of potential. And that's pretty much the goal. We really want to find people that we believe that have the same type of drive, or maybe they have something that they can offer that we probably do not have, like balancing out our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. How long's the label been up for? How long's it been active for?
It started during late 2016, and it was just the founder himself. And then a year later, he found another guy, a label partner, that started running the website. And then during 2018, that's when I came in during full time during the fall, which was around September, October. So recently, but ever since then, I have just been nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. We checked it out, didn't we? And we looked at a few of the artists on there. You got some English people on there also.
Irish as well.
I guess that's something we'll talk about on another episode.
Yeah, I'd like to interview some of those guys and see their take on it, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Hearing that stuff, when you talk about that, Johnny, it's just, I think, people don't often tell the backstory of how it happened and all that stuff. It's interesting. So it's cool.
Yeah, like there's also, I mean, we've thankfully we found people that, like, I would say good people who have the right mindset with the right attentions, the proper attentions of what they're trying to do. And there's a lot of people who have that complete opposite. People like to gossip about other people. They like to pinpoint. There's other people from other countries who probably talk crap behind our backs. And really, we try to not, like, I tell these guys, like, listen, there's always going to be somebody who's going to say something negative and somebody that will say something positive. So it's just the best thing to do is to remain neutral and not look for enemies.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
jealousy's, you're doing something right. If you've got people jealous around you, saying things behind your back, I mean, you're doing something right, aren't you? So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool, man.
So have you got anything coming up? Have you got any gigs around Miami or elsewhere or anything like that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Actually, I have another show coming up on the 31st of this month at a place called Las Rosas. And yeah, I mean, I don't play as often as I would like to, but really I've been focused more on just the production side of things. But definitely I'm going to come back during this following year, later on of this year, to start gigging again. It's just right now I'm developing some new tactics and ideas that I would like to have, additional visuals, let's say, and just things to, just to not impress, to please the audience with a performance that seems like it's very worth going to, you could say.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good. That sounds good. So that's on the 31st of January, did you say?
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, shame we're not over there.
No, we might fly over to come see it.
That'll be for work reasons. That's it.
I'll actually probably have a video done. I'm gonna get my partners from Static Realms to record the video. Actually, it would be extra video for something big that we're trying to form with RetroSynth Records and some other potential networks.
What's the Static Realms? I've seen them on Instagram. What's their story like?
Well, actually, I discovered them from a friend who knew them, but then I took the time to do some research, looked them up. I then just messaged them on Instagram. I just asked about, you know, if they were looking for submissions, like music submissions, like to interview people. And then from there, I met the guy behind the scenes, the lady of Verona, the host, and got to know these people a lot more. And you know, they have a really cool, thing going on. Which I said to myself, you know what? Why don't they just partner up with us and we can help them and they help us in exchange. We just, you know, passively promote each other. That's the whole idea. And, They agreed to it. They liked the idea. I just told them some ideas that I think would have a lot of potential, and they could have it would help them just as much as it would help us.
Yeah.
And yeah, but they are going to be a very, very big deal for a lot that we have going on video, like videos, music videos and things
I follow them on. I think I follow them on Instagram. I think so, and yeah, like the visual stuff, it looks really good. Like they've nailed what they're going for. I think. Have you seen them?
No, I haven't. No,
yeah, they're actually, their main goal, or the whole idea of Static Realms is, from what they told me, was that they're recapping like 80s movies, you know, Ghostbusters, Bloodsport, or anything that resembles during that time frame. They use it to interview. They use specific movies that the artist would say relates to the specific release, or not even an artist. It could be just a enthusiast, you know.
All right.
And, but yeah, that's their main priority.
Yeah, okay. So it sort of goes, it's like in the same ballpark, and yeah, cool.
Wicked, man, wicked.
All right. Should we just wrap it up then? If there's anything else we could.
Yeah. Well, when are you guys coming to Miami?
This gig, I think. Yeah, we'll get us tickets for this gig. We'll come over.
Yeah.
Definitely,
last time I was there was 2017. I think I went there like 3 times in 2017. I don't know what.
Yeah, you go all the time.
I was rich.
Yeah, no, I'd love to go to Miami. Well, but before then, I think we'll just get you on a few more times, won't we, Johnny? And we can, you know, keep this as like a regular thing where we can talk and you can update us what you're up to.
Definitely.
And we can have conversations about music across the pond.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice, man.
It was great talking to you guys. This was fun, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. You too. Let's definitely do this again.
Okay, take care, Johnny. Nice speaking, man.